Hello, you guys. I'm so excited because today I have a very special guest. This is my good friend, Viveca Renée. She actually is in the Design Suite program and she makes gorgeous stuff. So we are going to make this bee card with you today. And Viveca got her screen up, so she's going to show you how she puts it together. Viveca, do you want to introduce the project and tell everyone a little bit about it?
Sure. This is a shadow box card that I made. I had a really good teacher who, you, who showed me how to do these. And I just really love how they, there's like a little piece of art and it's just got a lot of dimension to it. And I just really like that I can do a lot of detail and it just makes a beautiful card when you get finished.
Isn't it so beautiful? I might have taught you how to do it, but Viveca, you took it to a totally new level. The pattern in the back, plus all the levels are we using pop dots today for this?
Yes, and a few of the little strips, same kind of thing that prop it up, but yeah, mostly pop dots.
So beautiful. The pattern in the back, plus the layer with the strawberry and the flowers, plus the bees, everything about this is so incredibly cute. Now, if you guys are watching this, you're like, oh my gosh, I want to make this card. Viveca, where can they find this card?
Well, I have it in my silhouette shop and I also have it in my Etsy shop. So they're both, they both have it. And eventually I'll get it on my website, but I'm not quite there yet.
That's so awesome. So we've given you guys the links in the description so you can go grab this card if you want to. Will you just give us the name of your Etsy shop and your website so we know where people can go if they're like, oh, I want this, or maybe I want to go check out some other projects?
Yes, it's Viveca Renée Design for both. VivecaRenéeDesign.com is my website, and then my Etsy shop and Silhouette are both the same. Viveca Renée Design.
So beautiful. I hope you guys are excited to watch this. I know we're doing this live. Hello, Judy. And I see lots of you joining us right now. I hope you guys really like this card. So Viveca, should we start by talking about some of the things that they need in order to make this card?
Yes, obviously you need cardstock. And I use the cardstock from Michael's, but I also like, oh gosh, I'm blanking on the brand, but it has a lot of texture to it and it's very heavy, so it doesn't tear on some of these real delicate pieces. So I can get that in a little bit and give it to you. But so you need cardstock, obviously, glue. This one I used, I actually cut this the first time with paper, but for whatever reason, the second time, I guess maybe my blade is getting where it's a little bit dull. It didn't want to cut. So this time I did it with vinyl, and it's probably better with vinyl just because it's pretty small. But glue, and I also use these little foam strips. These are really thin, like this. But you can pull off a couple at a time and make it thicker if you need it, which I really like. And of course you can cut it to fit whatever.
Where'd you get those, Viveca?
Just on Amazon.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then I have the little pop dots, the smaller ones. I like these a lot better than the bigger ones. And then my handy dandy tweezers, which are a little dangerous because they're very sharp on the end, but I really like these because of it helps me manipulate the small pieces. And this is my favorite glue right here, Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. It has several different tips, and you just put a pin in it, and it's for really fine details, and I really enjoy using it. It dries pretty quick, so you have to use it quickly, but I like it a lot.
Are you using just that glue? You're not using any hot glue today, right?
No.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
I'm not good with hot glue. I always end up burning myself. So
I love it. Leah says that card is the bee's knees, and Asia is saying so cute, Viveca. I agree.
Thank you.
Oh, adorable. I love that you used vinyl for that's kind of my new thing too. I used to cut all of my little stuff even in paper, and I just find I'm like, I've got to put glue behind it. So even if it cuts well, it's a little annoying because you have to like put glue behind it. I am just really enjoying vinyl for all of those types of things.
Well, and I'm not a big vinyl person either, but I'm starting to like it. I'm just, I'm trying it here and there. And sorry, can you hear that? The jets going over?
I was wondering if that was an airplane.
We live near an air base, and so about this time every day they decide they're going to go over. So anyway, the sound of freedom, I love it.
Yeah, it's all good. You can barely hear it in the background, but I was just like, oh, it's interesting. It does sound like there's an airplane going back there. Christine just says she loves the card. I agree. It is so adorable. Okay, do you want to show us all the cut pieces? And then, of course, we didn't say this, but you do need a die cutting machine. So a Caesar,
that would silhouette,
a Cricut, any of those machines, because Viveca provides the file. If you want to go purchase it and go check it out in her Etsy shop, you can go check it out there. And then if you want one of those types of machines, if you are looking for a machine, we usually have discounts going on at carinagardner.com. So you can shop our number of machines. We have both Caesar and silhouette machines there that you can purchase. So, all right. Do you want to show us all the pieces?
Yes, there they are. And yeah, I would not cut this out unless I had a machine to do it. Cause you could do it, but it would take a long time. So I have these are all the layered pieces. And what I did on the very, very back, I have this piece of vellum that has like little tiny gold dots on it. And it just kind of softens up the back. I don't know if you can see it on the original card, but
I love it. It's just like the littlest texture, but adds so much to it.
Right. So I have all the layers and then, of course, all the little pieces. And what I like to do, especially with like these flower centers, as I cut them out, I glue them down on the flowers because, things get shuffled around on my desk or whatever, and I end up losing them. So that keeps me from having to recut or, get down on the floor and try to find it.
Yes.
So those are the pieces. And then, oops, let me move this over here. And then I have the card. And I really like the edge on this card because it's just a little bit different. It's not flat. It's just got that little bit of scallop to it. So
that's like a fun and easy cut too. Like I like cutting the layers because I feel like they go really fast. It's like all the little stuff that feels like it takes a long time.
Right. And so I usually what I'll do is put together the smaller things first, just because again, I can be a little klutzy and I don't want to lose things. So I will take so like the strawberries here let's see, I'm gonna move this so I don't get glue everywhere. But like the strawberries are 2 layers. And so I have the red layer and the black layer. So it's easy. And, you're not having to cut out all the little seeds.
Yeah, this is one of the things that early on we added into our program because we have all of you as designers design things in layers. And it's not actually typical. Usually people design, all the individual seeds and you put them on. I was just like, no one likes that.
No, they don't. I don't. I'm a kind of a lazy crafter a little bit, and I don't want to have to do more work than I have to because it takes time to put these things together. And if you want to make more than one, it's going to take you a bit. So but I do love these tweezers because they make it a little easier excuse me, to pick up the little bits and put it together.
So cute. I love those tweezers. I'm watching you use them. I always this is so terrible. I use my X-Acto knife to flip things around. And so it's not very safe.
Right. Well, I will say, I don't know if you can see how sharp those are.
Those are very sharp.
They're very sharp. So, and there's a couple of times when I first got them that I was like, yes, that made me bleed. So you have to be careful with them, but they're very precise. I think they're actually I got these off Amazon as well, but I think people use these to when they're working with electronics and things. But they're really nice for using with the die cuts as well. Okay,
oh my
so
gosh.
Already did the flowers.
So cute. Yeah. And Tiffany's saying she loves using her, she has reverse tweezers too. Is that
Yeah.
what those are called? Reverse tweezers?
Well, they have a little, I have a pair that's straight, but these have like this little curve in it, and it just makes it easier to work with and to see what you're doing, I think. And I went ahead and did my vinyl earlier just because I'm not great.
So easy. And I'm assuming you use transfer paper, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And like on the original, I did a little bit of distress ink around the edges. And there's so many ways that you can do things to your cards to jazz them up. I mean, you could use glitter paper, different, there's just a million different ways. And if you are used to doing cards or making cards, I know like Tiffany, she's the card queen. And so, there's just so many things that you can do to make it add a little sparkle. I usually, a lot of times will take like a gel pen and put something in the center of the flowers just to give it that little extra pop if you want it.
I love that. It's so good. We have been featuring a lot 12 by 12 cardstock. If you guys are looking at paper that really cuts well, I just recently got a whole bunch of their Encore papers, including their glitter papers. And we'll give you the link with a code in the description if you guys want to take a look at that. But I think it's 10 or 15% off. And it's just to help you guys out with buying paper that really cuts nicely.
Yeah, I love good card stock. It makes a big difference. I've always felt like if you're going to make a card for someone and you don't want them to end up throwing it away, make it with good materials and where they're going to keep it. Something like this, I would hope that they would keep. And I don't on the little bees, because their legs are so tiny, I just put barely any glue on it.
Honestly, this is so fun for me watching you put the glue on this, because it is such a tiny nozzle for that glue, because that is a tiny bee.
Yeah, teeny tiny, but it works so good, and you barely have to squeeze it. And it, I used to think you had to put a lot of glue on there, but you really don't. You need just enough to get it to stick. And sometimes I'll take the tweezers and just kind of.
So cute. And I love the way you designed it, Viveca, with the white, then the yellow, then the black, because that layering makes so much sense to me.
Well, it just makes it easier to put together, and it makes it really sturdy when you do that, especially for those wings. I had to tweak the design probably 3 different times just to get it where it would cut really well. But yeah, I mean, it looks so cute when you're done.
It is so cute. So cute. I don't think I've ever done that detailed of a bee.
Well, and I everything I looked at, I was trying to get some inspiration for this, and I have well, she's not my cousin, but it's my husband's cousin, and she's actually a beekeeper, and she came probably, I don't know, it's been a long time because I've retired from teaching, but it was probably close to 7 or 8 years ago, came and talked to my kids at school about bees, and it was just fascinating. And ever since then, I have loved bees. I love everything about them because they're just really amazing creatures. But when I was looking at the kinds of bees that are out there for inspiration, like that people had already cut out, that they're all like little fat and cute, which is fine. I think they're little chubby and cute bees, but I wanted something a little more realistic. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna challenge myself to make it where it will cut, and but still look a little more realistic. And so,
I love it. And I love the intricacies in the wings themselves, which is such a beautiful cut. I think this is one of the things I really love about Design Suite designers is you guys all kind of find your own style. Because I've seen lots of bees. Everybody does it a little differently. Yours are pretty intricate compared to the ones I've seen in the past.
And I'm a detail person, so I just think those extra details give it a little, just, I don't know, a little more character, makes it stand out a little more.
I love it. It's so good. Viveca, you were just talking about how you were a teacher before you started designing, which is interesting because you're one of we have a few of you guys that are retired and doing this kind of as an encore career for the fun of it.
Yes, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Way more fun than teaching. No, I loved teaching. I loved the kids, my relationships with them. I taught second and third grade, so it was awesome. But it's exhausting. Just and it's a lot of work, and you never. I think as a teacher, you never really stop thinking about teaching. I mean, because you're a professor, and you're always thinking about what can I do with my kids, what can I teach them, and you just never stop. But I loved it. But this is so much more fun for me because I have always been kind of artsy, craftsy, always done painting or whatever, and I've tried it all. I have a family who's a family of quilters, and my aunt told me I would visit her in the summer, and she would teach me how to macrame, how to sew. I mean, all kinds of things. So I like to try everything, but this has been one of the things I've been most consistent with because I'm making money at it.
Yeah, that's a nice little retirement side gig.
Yeah, it is. It's been great. I've had some really good months here in the silhouette store, and it's just because I've been consistent with it, and I love doing it. It's just a lot of fun.
Okay, tell me what you're doing right now.
Okay, so now I'm doing the honeycomb part, and this is 3 layers. So I wanted to have more than one color. So I have the background, and then the middle, and then this white layer for the honeycomb.
How was cutting that white piece?
It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, but it is pretty skinny. So if you're scared of something like that, you guys, you could cut it on vinyl, I think.
Yes. Yes.
But I think, I mean, that looks like it's done on paper. Is that right, Viveca?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of this is paper. The only thing that's vinyl was the saying. But yeah, if you use good paper, it will cut just fine. Because one of the things you taught us was make sure your lines are a certain width when you design it, and that really does help, because there's been some things I was like, oh, I gotta have to go back, like on these the legs on the bees. I was like, I'm gonna have to go back and make them thicker because they're gonna fall off. So yeah, it's definitely takes some trial and error. I don't get it right every time the first time. I have to, you have to go cut it out, and I really strive to cut out everything that I designed, or just about everything, because especially the cards though, because they do take time and effort, and I want whoever buys one to be able to go, wow, that was easy. She made it easy for me to make something beautiful. So that's how I try to do that.
We all love that, because I'll buy other crafters stuff just on a whim. Like I'm like, oh, I don't want to design this. I'm just going to make, I need a card for this. And I love it when I find another designer who has really made it easy for me.
Right.
And not all designs are easy. In fact,
No.
most of them, I've bought a few. I remember when some of our coaches bought some, and they were like, this is the worst design ever because I have to break apart every single thing. Nothing fits. It's really hard. And I was like, oh heavens.
Yeah, I've had a few like that myself, and I look at them and I'm go, what were they thinking? This is not good at all. So I try really hard, and again, what I like about this glue is it dries really clear, and so even if you get a little bit out of the lines with it, I just kind of tap it with my finger, and it looks great still.
I love that that's just a little 3-dimensional because you've got it on dimension, but it's not pop dotted. There's something nice about that.
Yeah, and the reason I mean, you can obviously pop dot it, but because I've got so many layers with the card, I decided that would be better just to do that one flat.
Agreed. That looks amazing.
All right, so I think I'll go ahead and do my strawberries next and glue those down. And I always like to just kind of look at my my card layers and make sure I've got everything turned the right way. The flowers I'll do at the very end because they're a little trickier, but I think I'll go ahead and glue down the green part to the yellow part. And this is the very top layer.
It's really nice the way you've set this up, Viveca, because I don't always do this, but I like the way you've set this up. And that is, you've got all your green piece, like really one nice big piece. And I will say, even I think I did a card with the coaches here on the YouTube channel where I was like, I don't know where any of these leaves go, because I had like 7 or 8 just totally free flying leaves. This is nice the way you've got it set up.
Thank you. I really, again, it's all about being user friendly. Is it easy to figure out? Like this one's a little tough, but only if you know, you can always look at the picture that you get when you purchase it. But, you know, you just look at it and those outlines are there to help you figure out exactly where it goes.
Yeah, that looks phenomenal. This is one of my favorite thing about shadow box cards, you guys. You'll see a lot of our designers doing shadow box cards because I think that they are such an up level of a card. But furthermore, like they should be crafter friendly. Like you should be using all the lines to be able to glue everything down.
Right. And it's and the reason I did this green is because I didn't want to have to glue all those tops on. And so I just made it where when you put it down, and I don't mind like this little shadow being there. It makes it kind of look like, I think I actually glued that together wrong, but even if I did, it doesn't look bad because it just looks like there's a little shadow there.
Well, I can't tell. It looks totally perfect to me. So I'm loving the way you were using this with the tweezers. I did see that Christine also uses the reverse tweezers as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiffany just said, I love the bee.
It's just, I don't know. It just makes it easier. I don't, you know, I don't mind getting messy when I work with things, but it just keeps the glue mess to a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've got all that put together. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put this, and this is one of those things where you could actually, you know, come up with your own phrase if you have, you know, Cricut or Silhouette design spaces, you can make what you want to. But I just thought Be Yourself was pretty appropriate because we're all, you know, we all like different things. We all think different ways, and that's what makes us all unique and wonderful. And so, kind of corny, but yeah, be yourself.
I love it. Sometimes I wonder if we could use a little more corniness in this world.
I think so.
The soft and simple things. Okay, so you are not pop dotting this. You are just gluing it right down.
Right. And I actually got a little extra glue where I don't need it. Yeah, on this one, just again, it was because like on this is it doesn't really need it.
Mm-mm. Yeah, because there's so many pops.
All right, so that's all ready to go. All right, so now I'm going to do the back and layer up my card. Get this out of the way.
That's so cute. You do have a lot of layers here. Yeah. So it's vellum first.
Mm-hmm.
Then pattern.
Right, and then the honeycomb. And this one, I'm trying to remember if I just glued that down. I think I just glued this down because I didn't want to put glue over all the honeycombs. So I am gonna just do it like right around the edge.
That's probably all you need, especially for a background layer.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. You know what I also like about this? I love your colors, Viveca. I like that dark brown with the honey color, and then you've got like an orange and then like a lighter yellow. I don't know why. And then the pop of red. Like that's how I know you've been designing with me for a little while. It's because all the colors look so delightful together.
Well, and I try to be very intentional about how I put things together. I kind of like that graduated look, you know, like where it goes from dark to light or light to dark, either way. And so I try to kind of, I don't know, it just makes it easier, I think, to put it together, and you don't have to make as many color choices, but you still get the contrast that you need.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this and it does look like it's actually a pretty limited palette.
Yeah.
So it should be pretty easy to cut on your die cutting machine. I don't think you need, even in the yellow, I'm like, I think you might only need one paper to cut all of that.
I actually have, let's see, 1, 2, 3 different colors. It's like light, medium, and dark.
Okay. You can't even tell
So,
that difference on the camera as much,
yeah,
but a little bit here. So you're kind of using a little bit of an ombre tone here.
right, right. Okay, so then the next layer, this is the honeycomb layer, and this one you check to make sure that it's going this direction, because if you flip it, it's going to go
Ugh,
back.
the wrong way.
Yeah, things won't fit. So I always double check and look at it to make sure that that's the correct direction. And I am going to put some strips on this piece.
That's so incredibly cute. Okay, while Viveca is putting those strips on, really quick, let's just remind you where you can find this particular design if you're looking for it. It's at Viveca Renée Design with an S. Is there an
No,
S on the end of it? No S, so
no.
just design. So
Right.
Viveca Renée, Renee, design .etsy.com, I believe is what it is. And then if you want to go check out all of Viveca's other designs, you can go to her website and that will link you to her other shops and her other designs.
Yes, I do have a creative fabric shop, but I haven't really been adding to that so much here lately. I've been really working at getting my silhouette store built up, and I need to start adding back to my Etsy shop some too. But this one is in my Etsy shop.
Yeah. So if you guys are looking for it, do you know what the official name of it is? If they're like just Googling or searching for it in Etsy.
Bee card.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Bees and Strawberries 3D Shadowbox card.
I like that you named it what it actually is.
Well, that's how you find it, right?
Yep, that is how you find things.
What would you name it?
Bees and Strawberries 3D Shadowbox Card in paper or paper craft. I mean, I think that's perfect. I think so often, especially early on, my early designs, especially on a lot of platforms, I think I tried to be really clever, and it was like kind of my own system. And I think being clever is not useful. That's the thing I kind of figured out, that SEO really likes you better if you are thinking really smart about what the design actually is. Most people, when they're looking for a design, at least for me, when I'm off looking for a design, I'm actually using the real words of whatever I'm looking for, like sailboat or bee or card. Right. So we should use those.
Yeah, I agree. That's because I kind of started out that way too, and then I was like, only I would think to do it that way.
Yeah.
And most of the things that I had read about SEO were like, yeah, you need to definitely call it what it is, because that's what people are going to look for.
Okay, you're not using pop dots on this hive.
No, because this is already kind of thick, and and since I've layered it up.
And you are going to use pop dots on the bees, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it's okay to have that a little bit flatter.
Yes, because it can get. I was thinking, my thought process is it going to fit in a card or
in an envelope?
Envelope.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to get too thick. And I recently, actually this past week, I was making a shadow box design for my son for his birthday. It was one I purchased, but I was trying to make it too difficult. I made it really, pop dotted everything. And by the time I got finished, you couldn't even tell what it was.
Yeah.
So I was like, some things you have to just kind of find that good balance between, does it really need to be everything pop dots?
Yeah. And also edit of the design itself, right? Like sometimes when there's way too many elements, you have to be really careful. Yeah. I love yours because this is actually a pretty intricate and a very heavy element card, but you see everything still. And that's not always the case in some of my designs.
Well, I like to be able to differentiate the things and be able to see what I'm, see what it is. So, so this one I am going to go ahead and layer this one. So I'm going to put my strips on the back of this, and then I'll put the bees and flowers on last.
So you're using the long strips just to make it even all the way around. And then it seems like you're kind of cutting the little strips, or using the dots will you use the dots on the strawberry area?
Probably. I I don't think I did the first time. I think I used the strips. I use these strips a lot because you can cut them, or you can even just break them in half, and they're really easy to use because they're so thin. And I like that you don't, because sometimes I've seen the Shadowbox cards, and you can see all the layers and all the stuff that they use, the strips that they used. And I like these because they're a little more invisible, even though they're along the whole edge pretty much. And what I'll do here is I'll put just a few pop dots to keep the strawberries propped up a little bit.
Yeah, that looks awesome. It's so funny. I feel like I didn't discover pop dotting until like 3 or 4 years into doing die cut files. Isn't that weird? I think it's because I was in scrapbooking, and we were doing you don't do a lot of pop dots. You're really just layering, so you have these thick layers of photos and like everything on it. And so when I discovered pop dots, that felt like a new level. And then I remember discovering vinyl. Like, it's so funny because I came from the paper world, and I was like, wait, what is this vinyl stuff? And everyone's like, that's the easiest thing to use on your die cutting machine. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. And again, it's like be yourself, choose what you like. And I know there's some people who use vinyl for everything. And I think it's great. I love it for certain things, but I don't know. I've always been kind of a paper and office supply, school supply nerd. So I've always liked paper and anything that you can color with or that kind of thing. So anyway, there we go.
That looks amazing. And you haven't even added the flowers and the bees.
Yeah. And see, I mean, I really didn't need to pop this up because you can.
Yep.
It's kind of pops itself up. All right. So the bees, now this is a 5x7 card, which I don't always make 5x7. I usually do 4x6, but this one, because of the bees, I decided it needs to be a little bigger, because otherwise this one, I wouldn't go any smaller with this one, because the little bee, because it would just be too hard
to cut.
Yeah. So I'll put some pop dots on the back of the big bee.
You guys, are you dying at how cute that is? It's like all the tiny details. Like, I love the scallop on the bottom. Like, it's just like a one little tiny extra detail. The vellum paper that has its own little pattern in the background. The strawberries coming down. Notice the focal points really work. Viveca is so good at this, especially when it comes to design. Like, the focal points all move in and come down to the bee yourself. So it's just done so well. Yeah, Kim says that's beautiful. I agree. So beautiful. And then Christine said, totally bring on the corn, when we were talking about corny things. I think some of it is just the sweetness, right, of living in this world that's a little bit hard edge. Sometimes I love just being with crafters, because we're all kind of like, we're just making stuff. Let us just create in peace, please.
Right. I agree. And I think that, we all have that innate desire to create beautiful things. And some of us think that we're good at it, and some of us think we're not. But I think you can learn how to do things and make beautiful things. It just takes the time and the effort. And I think we've all got it in us if we just find that thing that we love and what we like and go with it.
Viveca should just preach. Create. It's all in us, and it can be learned. It can 100% be learned.
I mean, when I first started Design Suite and learned or found out that I was going to have to learn Illustrator, I was like, oh no, not another computer program. But it's like second nature now, and I absolutely love it. I hated it at first. I really hated it.
Oh, you're not the only one. I feel like the first 3 months in Illustrator, everyone in our program's like, I hate this. Why are you making me do this? And then it's so funny. A year will pass and everyone's like, why did I even hate this?
Yeah, I agree. And what's funny is I will go and look at my early designs as I'm putting them in the silhouette shop, and I'm like, oh, that's got to be fixed. That's not right. So, yeah. Okay, so on the flowers, I just put a little dot in the middle because I'm going to go back after it dries, and I'm going to bend up the petals a little bit.
Oh, interesting. So you're going to finger press after the fact.
Yeah, which I know that's probably not the.
No, I want to see this because I have never done this before, Viveca. I'm a finger press before, but then it also makes my cards and everything pretty darn thick, right? Because I like to finger press really far up. But I'm assuming the reason you're doing this is so that it actually stays a little bit closer to the card.
Right, and I use my tweezers for it.
Oh, now I really have to see this. These tweezers are like the star of the little show.
They are awesome. Okay, now this is where, and you have on this one, I have to double check to make sure I've got the right flower in the right place, because that's the little one and the bigger one.
So cute. I love this little drop of white with a little bit of yellow in it because it kind of breaks up all the design work. I always, neutral always helps.
Yeah, because I went back and forth on, what colors should the flowers be, but I love the white and the yellow with the berries. I think it just really makes it look sweet.
It does make it look so sweet. I love it.
Okay, so let me make sure this glue dries pretty fast. And so what I'll do is I'll take my tweezers and just kind of bend it up a little bit and then press it down.
I'm so fascinated. You did not even do it the way I thought you were going to do it. Like I can't, my eyes cannot stop watching this.
So you can with this, and that's what I like about this bent piece on the tweezers. You can kind of press it that way. Just kind of, you don't mash it real hard, but you just kind of go down the leaf and it will, oops, pop it up just a little bit.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
Well, and the thing about with it being white, that was one of the reasons I did it this way, is because I don't want dirty fingers on my my white paper. But I guess you could always go wash your hands, but it pops it up just enough to make it not look flat.
Flat, yeah. Which is so nice because you do have so many other elements that are interesting and detailed, but that little bit does make it a little special.
Well, and to me, this was a lot easier to do these tiny petals than trying to do it with my fingers.
Yeah. Yeah. I can totally see that. I almost use my fingers for everything. I'll use a pencil sometimes. Asia in our coaching ones has some weird little like ball thingy where she like rolls it, and it's fascinating.
One of those before. I went to a paper flower making class one time, and they gave us the little it's almost like, it's not really embossing, but that's what it seems like. You're like rolling it till you make an indentation and get it to pop up like you want it. There's that one.
So cute.
Almost done.
Viveca, what do you like designing the most?
I would have to say the cards. I really love the cards. I've made a lot of dingbat fonts, which have been really good sellers in that silhouette store. And I really like doing that as well. I mean, I love it all, but this is probably, the cards are probably my very favorite.
I remember when you took my die cut, because we have a die cut workshop. We did it through Design Suite, but we did it so that other people could join. And I think before that, a lot of what you did was a lot of flat designs. Like I'm thinking about some of your Celtic designs, and so you kind of gave a lot of flat designs. It's just interesting, like probably, I don't know, a few months to a year. I don't know how long it took you to get into cards, but then you really embraced it. Like you really had a good time with it.
Yes, I did. And the flat designs are okay, but I think with flat designs, at least for me, I think it was just because my mind was not thinking the way it should have. I was thinking like, what would look good on a t-shirt?
Mhm.
And I was like, I didn't really like it that much because, t-shirts usually they need to say something. They have
Yes.
on it or whatever. And I struggled with that. Not so much now, but I just, with the typography and also having to do the actual design that you want to go with it and work around that, I was like, I just don't enjoy this that much. But then when I learned how to do the shadow box cards, I was like, this is my thing. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, you started building them super fast. I remember after that, but like I don't think I had realized how extreme you had taken this because this is so intense, like in such a good way. Like all the details in it. Like I had seen some of your earlier stuff, but I don't think I'd seen this because you and I, so Vivica's in one of our higher programs at this point, and you learn font design in that. And so like I kind of had started seeing you do all this other stuff. I didn't realize you were doing all of this with your cards.
Yes, this is probably, I would say this is probably the most intricate one I've done so far. Um, and I had to really think it through. The more intricate it is, the more you have to think about it. And I'll still do, like, I just did this one.
So cute.
And this one's obviously not as detailed, but it's still, I mean, it just looks so cool when you bring everything up and give that dimension to it.
Yeah,
I
it's so
a
good.
lot of possibilities for something like this to add your own special touches to it.
Yeah, it's so incredible. Kim just said she took it to a different level, which is so true. This is totally next level. Oh my gosh. I hope you guys love it. Can we get hearts in the chat if you love this? And by the way, you guys, we will have the link in the description. So if you want to go check out Viveca's card, it should be in the description. If you want to make this with us and rewatch this video, we hope you will. Furthermore, we have so many more designers coming on showing you all their unique designs. If you want to see what we're doing, you want to see what me and the coaches are making, we have some really cool things coming up not only this summer, but definitely during the holidays. Please, please, please subscribe to the channel. I think you will love all the new stuff that we've got going on. Viveca, will you just remind everybody your Etsy shop and then your website so that people can come check you out more?
Yes, it's vivecareneedesign.com is my website, and on Etsy it's also Viveca Renée Design as well, and on the Silhouette store.
So amazing.
Well,
Would
you really?
Oh yes, show us
really
that.
Quick. So this is what it looks like if you frame it. And of course,
so cute.
Yeah.
I mean, it's artwork. It's so, so good.
Yeah. So that's why I designed that particular one that way, because I wanted to be able to put it. It's just a 5x7 frame, and it pops right in there.
So good. I love it so much. Viveca, if you, I would love for you to give 2 pieces of advice right now. First is to crafters out there. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to crafters who are either just getting started crafting or are wanting to continue to craft, but just can't find the time for it?
I have the blessing of being able to do pretty much whatever I want during the day because I'm retired. I still have other responsibilities, but when I first got started, I was like, I don't know if I have time for this. And you find time to do the things that you love, and you make time to do the things that you love. And so I would say if you have to work in the margins of time, work in the margins of time. If you have time to do 2 or 3 hours a day, set aside that time and do it, because it's just so fulfilling, and it just makes me happy. It makes me feel like I'm doing something that's not just for myself, but for other people to enjoy and to be creative with. And one of the great things about these little cards is that when you purchase this, you can take these little elements and make your own things with it. It's a great deal, to get those things and be able to use them another way. So yeah, I would just say, just do it. Make time for the things that you love.
I love for crafters because they get to use the designs of other people. They do get to mix and match. Like if you wanted to do something crazy and cool with just that little beehive little pattern, you really could, which is pretty awesome. Okay, one last piece of advice, but this one for designers. What about new aspiring or budding designers out there? What would you tell them are the first steps they need to take?
That's a hard one. Don't be afraid to try something new. Like I was like I said about Illustrator, I was like, I don't want to do this, but I did it, and it's one of the best things I've ever done. I could not have done this card if I hadn't learned Illustrator. So, you know, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and do something new, because you just never know where it's going to take you. I never thought that I would be able to sell my artwork or anything related to that until I joined Design Suite, because I was like, I had all this great stuff that I was doing. You know, watercolor and Zentangle, and I was like, I was just doing it for myself. And now I feel like I'm doing something that's going to help enhance somebody else's creativity, or just give them the opportunity to try something new.
Yeah, such good advice. I think trying things new at any age is a little bit scary, but especially as we get older. And I think you were like really embodied that, because when you came to me and you were already retired, you were like, I'm going to do this. I was like, okay. And then you actually started making money. And I was like, what? Like, this is incredible. I was just so happy. I mean, most of our designers make money, but I just like it. You really took it by the horns and were like, I'm going to do this and I'm really going to learn it. And it was so impressive.
Well, thank you. I had a good mentor. Design Suite was great, and just the whole community of women are so supportive and just encouraging. And I don't know, it's been one of the best things I've done for myself and for my creativity, to do Design Suite, and I've learned so much, and I'm still learning. I mean, I'm still going through. Every day I'll get on Illustrator, and it's literally every day. And I just ask my family, they're like, "Where's Renee? Where's Viveca?" She's on the computer. But I learn something new every day, and how to put things together, or just to change up, like I said, like my old designs to make them better. And it's really been a great journey. I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, I love it so much. You guys, I'm so glad. Go follow Viveca. Go check her out on what she's doing. Go check out some of the beautiful stuff she's doing. She's doing amazing work. Links are in the description. Those of you who are interested in 12 by 12 cardstock shop, we do have a discount code for you in the links. I believe it's like just Carina 15 or something like that, but go check the description in case I said it wrong. That'll give you 15% off, which is incredible. And if you're looking for a silhouette or a Caesar machine, we do have those in our shop at carinagardner.com. So if you're looking for that, that's a really fun way to kind of get started and get going. You guys, thanks for joining us so much. Every week we have lives, and we have some weeks coming up, especially with the holidays, where we're doing a lot. So make sure and subscribe to the channel. We cannot wait to see you. We can't wait to help you craft and design. It's going to be fun. All right. We'll see you guys later. Viveca, just hold on right here. Okay. And all the rest of you, we'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.
Bye.